G'day guys, today I want to talk about the Axial Honcho. I've had it 12 months now, so I want to talk you through some of the things that need upgrading, how good it is, the things I've had to do, the things that I've broke in the 12 months, just to give you a bit of an idea of whether you want to buy one of these trucks or not. So yeah, I'll talk you through some of the upgrades that I've done, some of the things that need doing straight away, and what I think of the truck in general. So stay tuned. Cheers. Okay, so yeah, this is my truck. As you can see, like from standard, it's had a few things changed on it. Obviously the wheels, and I've done a little bit of custom work up the back. I've put some panels on there to carry the max tracks and that sort of thing. I've put a bull bar on there, got rid of that other thing, because you can see the approach angle there now is a lot better than that other thing that probably sticks out like about here somewhere. Some obvious other changes, yeah, wheels, tyres, the shock hoops, that was just purely for looks really, but these are a little bit stiffer, so a little less flex in the body and everything else. I've put a bit more angle on those shocks, so you can actually move those shock hoops. You move them forward, but you swap sides. Harley Designs and plenty of other people have done the same thing, so that's easy to find. But yeah, you move them forward, swap them over, and the body pins for the tray still work exactly the same, but you can put some more angle on those rear shocks and get it to kind of work a little bit better in the rear end. Just because of the angle, they flex a little bit easier. Some guys swap the springs over. I haven't bothered because I'm carrying a bit of extra weight in the back there, and yeah, I just didn't bother. I found it didn't seem to work much better. I've actually wound those up a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. I've wound them up about 12 mil from their lowest setting, just because of these panels here are just sort of mild steel, so there's a little bit of weight in them. And I've also done the metal side steps, you can see underneath there, just added some framing plate. That's why it's got all the holes in it. I have plans to put these weights in it, but they don't fit inside these wheels. These are just cheapies, but they're heavy. Certainly add some weight to the front. So I will be looking at putting those on, but yeah, the rim just touches around there, so I'm just going to have to be getting the grinder out and doing that. Now the first thing that broke on this thing was the servo horn, which probably most of you have possibly heard about if you've done your research. So I've put a metal one on there, you can see it up under there, the red one, red servo horn. That's the first thing you need to do, because that'll go. And then the next thing that went was the actual servo itself. They advertise all metal gear, which is rubbish. There's one tiny little plastic one in there, so I've just got a cheap Chinese one in there, just a 20 kilo one, I think it is, like a year racing one or something like that. And yeah, it just works a treat. Get them on Amazon, about 25 bucks, something like that. Can't go wrong. So that's your next thing that goes. So yeah, I can just see in there 20 kilo servo. Not quite sure on the brand, but it's just an eBay or Amazon brand. So that was the next thing to go. Now the next thing that went in the gears, in the transmission gears, whoa, speaking of transmissions, mine's loose, I need to tighten that up. I replaced those with metal gears. There's one plastic one in there which does shred. Just had a look for that gear. I thought I might have found it, but no, it's very similar to this. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's one of the three in the transmission there. So that strips out. Now, so yeah. So in Australia, those gears are going to cost you about 60 bucks. Like I said, survey, maybe Australian dollars, maybe about 40 bucks posted. Your servo horn, well, they range from sort of 5 to 15 bucks. So that's not much at all. That's the first thing you want to be changing out. I've got the original motor, still goes like a trooper. I did break the tactic. The tactic controller has a little spring in it, and that broke. So once that breaks, she's kaput. So I got one of these Fly Skies, GT3B. Bit bigger, bit bulkier, bit heavier, but yeah, you got loads of different settings on there. So if you put a different receiver in this thing, and you want to run lots of lights, and you want to run a winch and anything else like that, you've got all the controls on that controller to switch those on and off. I've got the same drive shafts, got the same gearing inside, haven't replaced anything like that. Dog bones, so the front section in the dog bones, they got replaced only because I broke this axle doing something stupid. I broke the little C-cup section up the front here. That all broke because the tyre jammed up against the bull bar here, the end of the bar, and just jammed everything up, and all the pressure came back to there and snapped it off. So that's a pretty new axle. So the dog bones are probably due for replacing, but this has only been on here about 3 or 4 weeks. So the dog bones will last you, and I found the turning circles pretty good with the dog bones joints. Obviously, as you can see, I've put a new ESC in it. That's the 1080 ESC by Hobbywing. It's a proper crawler ESC. Absolute must. Don't have to do it straight away. I've still got the original ESC, which was just fine, but you only get 50% braking or 100% braking. And yeah, these ESCs, you just have so much more range of control with your throttling, your braking, acceleration, all that kind of thing. So definitely worth changing out. Obviously, wheels and tyres, you're going to want to do that at some stage. I've still got the original tyres. They're quite worn. I got quite a bit out of them. I've used them on other cars just for a bit of fun. And they're not vented. You could vent these and make them better. Sorry, they are vented, just the rim itself, but they're very bouncy. The foams are garbage in them. This has got 2-stage foams in it with bead locks, which eventually I want to go to. I find I've only been using Crawler Innovation foams, which work really well. These are your foams right here. This is just another set I've got ready to go for another car. Crawler Innovation foams, 4.5s. You've got to look at the size of these when you're looking at tyres, because these are these are like 4.75 in diameter, I think. So I've got the 4.5s, which fit in nicely and leave a little bit of space for softness. Whereas on this dude, these tyres are nowhere near as tall. They're still a 1.9, but they're nowhere near as tall. And I've got these foams for that. And if you put these against there, you can see, even side by side, they're not going in. So I should have got the smaller foams for that. So I'm still learning about those, but definitely look at your overall diameters before you get foams for them. Yeah, the shock hoops. So with these, if I swap this to there, so when you want to get these body parts, if you want to sort of bring your shocks forward, you swap these over, so that way, obviously, and then when you put these in, they've got to be facing towards the back, just to match your holes back up. But that's the beauty of these, is they can be shifted to the forward position. Swap them over, put your body post back in facing back, and they will still match the holes in your tray. So those holes right there you can just see, which is a great idea. It just makes it a little bit softer in the back, and some people swap the springs over in the back as well. Put the slightly stiffer ones in the back to allow for that extra angle, I guess. Other than that, not much else. Like I say, I've got taken a bull bar off. I found this one came with another truck that I bought, the Bronco up there, when I bought that, which is now sort of going to be that. But it came with that, so I thought this will match the Honcho really well. I've still left the other front bit on that you get in the kit, that plastic bit, and this is just, I just got a couple of brackets welded back on there by my local welder, and he we made it fit, so that was nice. I've also gone aluminium links, because this steering link, you'll notice it starts bending under the strain. Like once your servo's really up to the job, you'll find that this steering link wants to sort of bend a bit because they're only plastic. So just go with a full lot. They're just Amazon ones. I think they cost me 20 bucks, and look, they're not too bad. I've swapped out some of these ends for another metal ball end, just to make everything a little bit tighter, because they do wear out, so you do have to change your link ends eventually. I think that's really about it. The lights stop working after a while, the back ones especially, so I just take all that stuff off. I'm just more into the driving at the moment than anything else, so I just like driving them more so than sort of adding extra shit to them. Also, yeah, like with the shock hoops there, you see the front ones, so they're all plastic. Now they're pretty solid, but this part here can be a little bit flexible on some cars. That tends to flex a bit, which sort of throws your steering out a tad, and eventually that's going to break. So these are just, I think these ones are Racing ones. Actually got these from a local guy called Chris's RC Garage. Sells them locally here, pretty close to Brisbane. I'm on the Gold Coast, so he's not too far away. So I got some of them, and they just kind of pretty it up a bit, I guess. A little bit of red to go with the wheels and everything else. Okay, good evening guys. Something I just wanted to add to this video at the last minute is these brass C-hubs. I've just had to do a bit of work on them to grind them down. I don't know if you can see that. I've had to grind down just for these wheels to fit that hub on in here. Come on, there you go. You can see that gap I've got there is pretty tight, just in here. I had to grind these brass hubs down because for some reason they make them squarish or rectangularish, and with these aftermarket wheels at least, they were touching, so I've had to grind them down a little bit. But now I think I've just taken it for a bit of a run. I think we're all sweet. Come on, sucker, focus up. There we go. And oh geez, do they make a difference. In a couple of areas on my backyard track where the front wheel lifts right up, when the back wheel drops into a hole, normally it would just lift right up in the air. This time it didn't. This kept them right down, kept the front right down, so gotta say, really happy with them. I got them from Injora, off eBay, the Injora page, and they're only like, I think about 15 bucks, something like that, $20 Australian. So I thought I'll give them a crack. Yeah, definitely worth throwing on your rig if you're looking to, keep upgrading. There's those underneath sliders. So yeah, there you go. Well done. I think that's about it, guys. Look, overall, it's still my favourite truck. I've got this one. I've got the Trail Walker, which is an awesome rig also. That's got front overdrive already in it, and the option to go double that overdrive up to 12% more, and that actually comes with the kit, so that's awesome. And I've got one other one, which is this one, which, as you can see, it's all in pieces at the moment because I'm waiting on a new radio and receiver, since I think mine's died. But yeah, look, the Axial SEX 10.2 is an awesome rig. The shocks are really nice and soft. I've got no oil in them. I just put a bit of lube in them because they just leak. I don't see the point in putting fancy ones on there just yet. Because you're only driving, well, I'm crawling in it, I'm not racing it, so the shocks work just fine, I reckon. A little bit of body rub and all that sort of thing, but play with your heights and stuff like that, and your angles. They're just a great rig. You just got to get through those first few things that you've broken. And look, mine broke because my kids were driving, and my kids were sort of 6 and 9. And I was, we all want to have a go, obviously, and it was those two that broke the servo horn, and stripped the gears, and then anything else that broke after that was my fault. But once you've sort of replaced those things, it's an awesome rig, and that's pretty much the same with just about every other car that you buy. You've got to replace those things. I hardly ever put those electronic parts in off the shelf. So look, I love this rig. I've had it for 1 year now, and it's still really my favourite rig. If you get one, please get out there and enjoy it. They're great fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this was helpful to you, and catch you on the next video. Cheers.